of The Last of Us Part 1. A lot of talk has basically been that the most talk I've seen about it is the debate of whether the new stuff they're putting into the game is worth the hefty $70 price tag. So what do you think about that, and how do you think sales are going to go with this?
I think sales are going to be pretty dismal, mostly because of the fact that,
Dismal.
one, um, it's just a game getting a shiny coat of paint on it, and two, there are features being subtracted out of the original release and not going to be a part of this. And there was talk that just some of the stuff would be its own separate download or potentially DLC, which just had me scratching my head. It was just kind of like, why? You're giving less value, but you're charging more? That that is just pants on head stupid.
Yeah. No, that's the case. That is very, very true. The only thing that will prevent me from saying this will be dismal is the fact that it's being released on PC. So if it's being released on PC, I can see those sales being quite high because, of course, PC players who don't have PlayStation consoles haven't played it yet. So they will probably be snatching this pretty quick. I don't think sales will be dismal. I don't think it's going to be a big hit, but I think it will be it will meet sales expectations, I think. I think Sony will be okay with it because I don't think they're actually expecting big sales from this. I think they want modest sales from it to help boost the multiplayer game that's coming out next year and the TV series that's coming out next year on HBO. I think we've talked about it before, and I think that's what this is going to be for. This is basically them releasing this as a means to boost those two things. That's my opinion, at least. So I think sales is actually ancillary on this, and I think the reviews of it. People are saying that the Metacritic score is probably going to be around 90 to 95. I would say more 85 to 89. I think a lot of reviewers, some will still praise it and say, oh, it's a great story, this and that, blah, 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 blah. But I think a lot of reviewers are going to be forced to reckon with the fact that they're playing a game that's easily playable still on the PS5 through the PS4 remaster, and nothing's changed in the story. So I think that's going to be discussed a lot in reviews, and that will drive the review scores down. So, yeah. We'll move on to another game. Lego Brawls is coming out this week on September 2nd for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I know a lot of hardcore gamers or enthusiast gamers have never probably even heard of this or don't even care. But there's two reasons to talk about this. One, it's a Smash Brothers clone, and there's a lot of them coming out, especially with multiverses. And two, it's a Lego branded game, and Lego is a big brand, so they're going to have that behind them as well. I think this will make as much as the Nickelodeon game that came out, maybe a little less. But unless it's a really good quality game, I don't see this selling very well, especially with multiverses out there and being as popular as it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, the retail price is $40 for it.
That's not bad.
So, yeah, I mean, the price isn't bad, but really just it'll be interesting to see how it fares. And I'm probably in the same camp as you. It's probably not gonna blow multiverses out of the water, especially since just multiverses has a very, very low price of entry, being free and all. So, yeah, there's some grind with multiverses, but I mean, just they're counting on the fact that you're going to hate the grind and pay up and get one of the crazy founders packs, but that's a whole discussion on its own.
Yeah. Moving on, Disney Dreamlight Valley is coming out on the 6th, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. I'm not sure, isn't this the Harvest Moon Stardew Valley-like with Disney characters? Am I right on that?
I think so. I think so.
I don't see this selling very well. Even with people who are into Disney, I don't see this as, I don't see this selling well at all. I mean, a lot of word of mouth caused Stardew Valley to become a big seller. I don't think it's permeated the mainstream as much as people think it has. I think, and if it has, I think people are just going to say, well, I still have Stardew Valley, so who cares? I don't see this selling very well, is my thing. And reviewing very well, I don't think so either. So,
Yeah, a lot of the Disney branded games in the last couple years haven't been doing so hot. I think um, the last two games that I can remember is the one that's kind of like a Sims like where you explore Disney World, and it was something that you could play on Xbox Game Pass, and then you had the Switch branded or the Switch release only game, which was the Disney Tsum game, which that one was trying to sort of be like Mario Party with little based on the little Tsum plushies, and even that didn't review too well either. So yeah, just I don't foresee this one magically being some sort of hit overnight.
NBA 2K23 is coming out. This is a quick one. Yeah, this is going to sell gangbusters as usual. They announced that they are expanding on some My Team stuff, and they're getting rid of contracts. Thank the fucking Lord for that, because that was a bullshit thing that they did. Do you know what the contract system was on NBA 2K23?
Not offhand.
Basically, when you get cards, the players, each of them have a contract value, and the contract value is the number of games you can play with them until that number goes down. When that hits 0, you can't use that card until you buy contracts for that card.
So, oh God, and that just sounds like rental weapons from like a free-to-play shooter. Jesus.
Yeah, essentially. And the only way to get contracts is to either spend VC, spend My Team tokens, or get them in packs. So you would have to spend money to use the cards that you've already used in times, just so you can use the players that you've gotten through those blind packs. That's the contract system in NBA 2K23. So, yeah. They're taking that out, which, thank the fucking Lord, it still is a ridiculous money grab game. But, yeah, it will sell fantastically, of course. Anything more to add?
Just hopefully anyone who cares about NBA 2K has a good time with it.
Yeah.
It's not my kind of game, so I can't really say much.
As much as I am a fan of MLB The Show, I think the gameplay in NBA is better, but just the amount of money it tries to siphon from you is so unattractive for me, I stopped playing it. So, I love the gameplay. I can't stand the monetization. That's why I stopped. Splatoon 3 is coming out on September 9th, same day. We talked about this off the podcast. We like Splatoon. We've liked Splatoon 2. But neither of us really are interested in buying this because it looks great, but it's Splatoon, and it hasn't really changed that much. I think the most they're doing is they're making the salmon run available at all times, I think is the big thing too. So, okay, that's cool, but for another $60, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good things that are happening. So, one of the big positives, and this is huge in my opinion, the game will be saving your player data via the cloud servers.
Okay.
So no more situations where if your Switch had to go in for warranty work or for a repair that required the technician to do a full reset of your Switch console, that you would lose all of your data. And that happened repeatedly for people who played Splatoon 2.
Oh, God,
where just, yeah, if you had some sort of weird warranty issue and you had to send your console back, yeah, you always hated the dreaded email from the technician saying, hey, due to the situation with your Switch console, we have to reset the data. Please reply whether or not you agree to allow us to reset your Switch console. One of the most dreaded dreaded messages to get,
That's terrible.
especially because when that happened, you couldn't re-download your data from a cloud backup because Splatoon 2 was blocked from cloud uploads, and then there was no server to save your progress on. So if you had like a weapon that took you um, hours or hundreds of hours to unlock, yeah, you had to start back over from ground zero again.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just annoyed the hell out of people. And it just had a lot of people asking, hey, will um will there be some sort of cloud backup because um it's really crappy for just to have to start completely over from scratch just because as of this dumb thing. And we can't restore our data. There's no cloud backup. Just there's absolutely fucking nothing that we can do about this. And of course, just they finally confirmed in one of the Nintendo social media posts that yeah, in Splatoon 3 they will be saving data to the cloud. So no more worrying about that sort of thing, which is just great. Just happy to see it. And um, the other uh, the other big thing that just was revealed recently, because the Splatoon network test was this weekend, was cheaters are getting banned pretty seriously. And not only do these seem to be console bans, but they may potentially also be Nintendo Online bans too.
Oh wow.
And because some cheaters decided to fuck around and try to see if some of their cheats that they developed would work in Splatoon 3. And well, they quickly found out early in the weekend, yeah, it looks like Nintendo has started their anti-cheat wave against cheaters pretty seriously, even if this isn't the full retail release, because several cheaters got banned and started lamenting about it. And of course, people were just like, well, this may have restored my faith in Splatoon 3, and I might be brave enough to venture online and play the game for once.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, but are you going to purchase it, or am I right in saying you're probably not going to pick it up?
Um, Likely I'll probably wait for it to go on sale, mostly because I do quite like the Splatoon single player. It's really good, it's really fun, especially with just some of the boss fights. Some of the boss fights are just absolutely fantastic, and they demand so much mastery from the player on just the mechanics and everything. It's just a blast to play. But yeah, I really don't see myself doing what I did a few years ago with Splatoon 2 and just pouring hours and hours of my nights just playing online and unlocking my favorite weapons and stuff like that. I just don't see it in me.
Next up, this game made a big splash at this year's Steam Next Fest around the not E3 time. It's Metal Hellsinger. It's coming out the 15th. I don't know the price offhand. I can look that up while you talk. But from everything I've heard from people who played the game and played the demo, they loved this game. They thought it was really cool and were willing to put their money where their mouth is when it came out. There's no price for it. I think this will sell pretty well if the reviews come out to be very positive. Did you play it? What did you think of it?
Oh yeah, I played quite a bit of it, the demo when it was available for the Steam Next Fest, and it was real fun, especially since I do appreciate metal music and everything. It definitely seemed like what bullets per minute was supposed to be, because bullets per minute, while it was very fun, it just was just so bland with its color choice, just lots and lots of browns and reds.
Yeah.
Whereas Metal Hellsinger, it's got like just a huge burst of color. You've got like blues and grays from the icy environment that they have you in. There's lots of red and black for some of the fire scorched brimstone areas that you're in. Just lots and lots of fun. And the music synchronization piece just feels so good, because when when you sort of nail the feel and rhythm of just whatever song um, is backing you and everything, just once you get into, for lack of a better way of putting it, a killing groove, you just go. You just kind of go with the flow, and it just feels so good when you get that crazy 16x kill chain, and just the entire song's unlocked and it's just playing and you're just slaughtering demons left and right. It's just a damn treat to play.
Yeah.
So this one will be really interesting to see, because I'm most certainly looking forward to it. So depending on price, I may pick it up day one, I may not. We'll have to see.
The Diofield Chronicle, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. This obviously is not the Final Fantasy Tactics that I was looking for, but I am interested in this. Let me check the price real quick. Yeah, like I'm a big strategy fan. So if this turns out to be good, this might be a purchase for me. Oh, it's not on PC.
It is. It's on Steam. $60 for the regular edition, and then 75 for the digital deluxe edition on Steam.
I just searched it, it didn't come up. Okay, so $60. Because I put F twice. If this turns out to get good reviews, I will probably pick this up, because I really want a good strategy game. So I'm definitely interested in what they're doing in this, especially since the remake of Tactics Ogre is going to be $50, and they're not changing much of this. I'd rather purchase it on a good new one. So I'm interested in Diofield Chronicle.
Yeah, and this one is interesting as well too, because of the fact that movement is not bound by a grid system anymore. It is literal 3D free-flowing movement. So that's what makes things a little bit more interesting, and potentially there's a high chance of just making battles a little bit extra challenging, because you have to think in a more spatial sort of sense now, instead of going, okay, I think this move is going to hit the front-facing forward 3 grids, but this attack also goes diagonally, so I could potentially hit my allies. Okay, I need to weigh in if giving one of my allies a little bit of damage might be worth the full payout and everything.
Yeah.
So definitely interested to see how this one pans out. The cool thing is that there is a demo for it, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe the demo does have save file information that will transfer to the final retail copy. So if you're interested, I would say definitely pull the demo down and just check it out and see if it's for you. And if it is, maybe throw down some cash for the pre-purchase, or hold off until you feel a little bit more confident on buying it if there's a sale or something.
Yeah, I'm weird with demos, man, because I would rather. I understand people would like to have the demos months before it releases. I'm not that way, because if I like something, I want to play it now, and if I can't play it now, I feel less compelled to actually replay the game after the demo. And I know this demo carries your save progress, but it's just it's a flow thing, you know. Like I would rather have the full game on top. Like I have the full game available. So if I like the demo, I'll purchase it and then continue from where I left off. Then play it now, then wait 3 weeks, and then get the full game, and then have to remember, okay, what happened in this part? What did I learn at that in that part? I don't quite remember. You know, that's just me though. I am in the minority in that, but that's good that it has a demo. So that's good. That's coming September 15th. September 22nd, Slime Rancher 2 is being released, but I believe it's in early access. It's PC and Xbox Series X. I just checked the thing now on Steam, and it says early access game. There's no price. So, yeah, they're expecting this to be at least 18 months in development. So, yeah, it's technically releasing, but it's in early access. and I think I talked about it earlier with my thoughts on early access games. So basically, I just want it done. I want to play it when it's completed. But I really like Slime Rancher 1. So if this turns out to be a decent price for the game, I might just do my pick it up, and then when it's completed, I'll play it. So, yeah, that's my feeling on it, at least. What about yours?
Yeah, just Slime Rancher 1, I had quite a bit of fun with, but it was one thing that I unfortunately had to be very careful with because um there was one time where just um I had felt a little sick and everything, um and I was kind of hemming and hawing between in just if I was going to call out of my job because I was feeling kind of crappy. And I was just like, okay, well, just since this is a sick night, I'm gonna go play some Slime Rancher and just try to relax. Well, what was going to be, oh, I'll just play an hour of Slime Rancher, no big deal. Yeah, it quickly turned into 5, and by the time I knew
Yeah.
it soon after, I saw the sun rising. I was just like, oh God. Well, I think I should probably call out of
Yep.
work because this is not a good idea
Nope.
to work with maybe 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, yeah, I remember when that used to happen to me. That didn't happen. Well, it kind of happened with me with Slime Rancher, but yeah, Slime Rancher is very addictive, especially when you go out in the world a little more and you start exploring to find new types of slime. So, yeah, I'd be interested in it. I wonder what the price is going to be. I think if it's $20 on early access, I'll pick it up, and then I'll just sit on it until it's done. So, yeah. I want to also point out Temtem is coming out on full release on September 6th. So, and that is the Pokemon like card collector game. And mainly I'm interested in Temtem because one, I've heard good things about it. And two, I am so unhappy with the direction of the Pokemon games that I'm dying to play a game like that. And this seems right up my alley. So I'm interested in how this turns out. Specifically, I don't know if you purchased it or you're interested in it at all, but that's my thing on this. So, yeah.
I think Temtem I'm not too interested because just the reason I play Pokemon is the memorable monsters.
Yeah.
Just I've had a lot of history with the monsters and everything, so
Hmm.
so there's that and everything. And I know they've been kind of talking a big game on how hey, we're paying attention to what the competitive players want and stuff like that. And I mean, I get it. A lot of people like the Pokemon battles, but they want a little bit more meat and bones to the battling and everything. But battling's not really my primary motivation when I play Pokemon. I'm the weird Pokemon biologist that likes to try to collect up as many monsters as I can and everything. So yeah, just for me, that's where my loyalties lay.
Yeah. Okay. Like, you can't deny that the first gen Pokemon were some of the most memorable characters. Like, my favorites are Bulbasaur and Eevee. So I have the very few Funko Pops I actually have are Bulbasaur and Eevee, and that's it really. Because honestly, Funko Pops look terrible. I can't stand the look at them. But I like the Eevee and Bulbasaur one. So I can't find the Bulbasaur one. I think my nephew took it. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. You're not. That's your problem, not mine. So there. What else?
There's also
ahead.
The Legend of Heroes, which comes out on the 27th to PS5, PS4, and Switch. This one is going to be another one of those that's part of the illustrious Legend of Heroes games and everything. So if you're into that, it's probably just going to be more of what you like and everything. Probably 30 to 40 hours worth of story. So for the anime RPG fans, this is probably going to be just more of what you love and everything. I haven't kept up, but I know one of the main translators who had been working on the Trails of the Sky games and stuff like that. She ended up leaving. Um, I believe it was Xseed Games or NIS. I forget which. But I know she had left, and there was a lot of concern whether or not the translations would be as consistent as they had been under her supervision. So I can't speak to whether or not this game will be localized with just as much care. So take that for what you will.
Right.
And then
This is the middle part between Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky and Legend of Heroes Cold Steel, right? This is the middle part?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
believe this is the middle part of the saga.
Okay. Okay. I mean, there are people who are hardcore fans of that series. I tried to get into both versions and I bounced off of them. I'm not saying they're bad. I think they're very good. But I just I just bounced off. And I may get back to it, but yeah. They're good. So anyway, anything
The
more to add on that?
next, the next release that's pretty much 2 days away from that is Valkyrie Elysium
Yes.
on September 29th. PS5, PS4, PC.
PC's in November, isn't it?
Yes, the PC release is delayed, however, into November.
Okay.
But this one, I don't know how quite to feel because it looks like it's going the more action combat route with the ability to sort of order an NPC that follows you and assists you to do certain things like, hey, go on the offensive and attack and tank for me. Hey, stay back and heal. So, I mean, it might be good, might not be great. It's really hard to say because unfortunately the Valkyrie games have not really had the best of care taken to them.
No.
And that gets into another point that is a bit of a gripe for me, which is um, the PS4 and PS5 version of Valkyrie Elysium. If you decide to go with the digital deluxe edition, you'll get a copy of Valkyrie Profile, which is a one-to-one port job of the PSP version. So don't expect any sort of magical bells and whistles that clean up the graphics or anything. But what really gets my goat is that there has been no word or confirmation if the PC version is getting this. And if you go to the Steam page, the mention of Valkyrie Profile, the PSP game, is completely left out.
Oh, so
So
that sounds like it's not coming.
yeah, that would be my bet that it's probably not going to come to PC, which, again, it's a real damn shame because of the fact that just Valkyrie Profile 1 or Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, as the PSP one was titled, it was a really good game.
Yes.
Yeah, it had its quirks. Yeah, it's sort of a antique of its time, but it was still a fantastic game with the tactical turn-based combat with the combos and the combo chains, and then the twisted weird soul super attacks. Just nothing but a fun time. And it's also plenty challenging because you can't get the true ending if you play the game on easy. You have to play it on either hard or normal in order to get the true ending. So, which again, it's a bit of a shame that Square Enix is taking a very lazy sort of port and not adding any sort of quality of life changes because the save points in that game are very few and far between.
Yes.
So I would have loved to have seen like a quality of change feature where just you can save and suspend the game at any time, but maybe that's just a little bit of a crazy expectation on my part.
The PSP port didn't have that. I didn't play Lenneth. I was lucky enough to get it on PS1 when it came out, and of course, like a dumbass, I sold it. But I beat it on there, and I remember what you're saying. It was the save system was pretty sparse in that, but didn't the PSP version have some kind of updates along those lines, or did you play it the same way I did?
I played it both on PlayStation and PSP.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, just the PSP one was just kind of a real bare bones straight port.
Oh.
And there unfortunately really wasn't any sort of like save mechanic to allow you to save anywhere. I mean, some people may nitpick and go, well, you could You could just put the PSP to sleep. No big deal, man.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
but yeah, just it pains me that it's just one, it's kind of a lazy straight port, and then two, just it's likely being skipped on PC. That kind of gets my goat.
A Valkyrie Profile, I believe, is going to have a separate release later on down the road. So if you don't want to get, Elysium, which some are not really thrilled about the Elysium, but are willing to, I've heard people who are willing to get Elysium just to get Valkyrie Profile. And I was one of them until I saw the price, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that." So, yeah, I really want to play this game again. This is such a great game, but to spend $75 in a game that I don't think is going to be that hot, that's a stretch for me, at least. But I'm definitely interested. Hopefully, it turns out well, but I'm not really optimistic, I would say. It seems like an interesting month. Not a lot of big stuff coming out, but there is a bunch of small stuff that we didn't get into. But we didn't get into it because we'd be here another hour. So, yeah, I mean, this looks like it's going to be an interesting month. I think October will probably be the big month. But we'll get to that when it comes.